We're holding on page Hey, Parshas Vayikra, the Maimer Tashbis Melach, Ois Dalid. The last thing we were discussing was as much as the power of Torah is so impacting on the mind, and we're able to fuse together the human mind, the mortal mind of a person, and connect it with Hashem. Nevertheless, to be able to see the elokus, the godliness in Torah, a person has to precede his Torah study with meditation and prayer. Particularly to be able to have Mesiras Nefesh when he utters the word Echad. And this is also echoes what our sages say, that a person who says, I only have Torah, afilo Torah ein loi, even Torah he doesn't have. Rather, what does he need? Torah ugmilus chasadim. He needs Torah and good deeds. What are the good deeds? Who are you goimel chesed with? You're goimel chesed with yourself when you pray. That the prayer itself, the davening itself, creates a perspective in your Torah study that it's not just an academic pursuit, but rather it's an expression of godliness. But the power to see the expression of godliness in the Torah itself, as crass as the Torah may appear in terms of its physical material shell and the discussions that it has, is with this hisbeinenus in davening. As we say it in the words of Nigle, iyun tefillah, right? What's pshat iyun tefillah? Iyun tefillah. Iyun tefillah is one of the things, the unconditional things that you can do every day. It's included in the category of gemilus chasadim. And this is how we left off last time. This also echoes the idea of kitachlis chachma teshuva ma'asim tovim. The ultimate apex of wisdom is teshuva and good deeds. Says the Holy Rebbe Dalit. Amen. Also, on Shabbos, the last line we had in the mimer over there was about the Torah. Yeah, but he said there. He's a little different. Afilu Torah ein loi. Hine mikol zeh, from the above discussion. Yuvan, it's understood. What is the qualitative advantage and experience in the occupying one's mind of Torah? Is that your brain, the humanness of your brain, the mortalness of your brain, when you're occupying yourself in Torah, becomes attached and united with the wisdom of God. And through this medium, this tool, which we call Torah, the essence of the soul. I'm sorry. The essence of your soul, it becomes included and melted away in the infinite light, which is enclosed in the Chachma that you're learning. This is specifically, ready? Yeah. This is specifically in the aspects of Torah hanigleis lanu, which are revealed to us, the exoteric dimension of Torah. Shem Shisa Sidrei Mishnah Hamedabrim Mikasher Upasel Tamei V'Tar V'Chayev V'Zakai. The 6 tractates, the 6 orders of the Mishnah, which includes all of Shas, that discusses matters that are kosher or disqualified, pure and impure, liable or meritus. Yeah, but it's liable or victorious.
Meritus, like he merited.
Yeah, but Chaya means liable, and Zakai means vindicated. Because they're enclosed in Asiyah. That the infant. So now, why Dafke in Nigle? Oh, Malkoida. So what are we saying? Dafke in Nigle. So now, why? What's the power of Nigle? Right? It's a pasuk. He's quoting from a pasuk. The secrets are unto Hashem, your God, right? Our God. And the nigles, the revealed, is to us and our children. So now he's expounding. What is nigles lanu levanenu? Nigles is nigle. That what can be acquired, what can be attained or owned by us and our children. That means that our children's minds can actually grasp and understand niglois, right? That which is discussed. Pasul or kasher, tamei tar, chayev zakai. This is all, which is all the details that are expressed in Sidrei Mishnah. So what's he saying? That when do you truly feel united and attached with the infinite light of God as it's manifest in the wisdom of Torah? Which wisdom of Torah are you being attached to? Does your mind actually absorb? Only Nigla. Lefi shem nislabshu be'asiyah. Because they're enclosed in the world of Asiyah. Chidush, no? I mean, he's obviously going to say, what's the mile of Tashbis Melach, right? That's where the mimer is going to go. But right now we have to understand, when the Alter Rebbe speaks about, in chapter 4, chapter 5 of Tanya, that it's yichud she'ein yichud kamayu, when are you truly united? When you know or when you don't know? When you're present or when you're absent? When are you more absent and when are you more present in learning? I obviously am more present in learning. Don't ask the mystics in the room. But at the end of the day, when are you more present in learning? When you're discussing matters that you can actually feel tangibly. And the Torah discusses matters that are felt tangibly in the world of Shas. This is, I can feel this world. But when I speak to you about Chachma Batzilus, where? Where is it? I have to adapt it, that my human personality is a reflection of the infinite light's structure and design in the higher worlds, but at the end of the day, it's intangible to me. So hanigles lanu levanenu, nigles are lanu, they become absorbed in us. That's when we become really united with Hashem. Lefi shem nislabshu be'asiyah, atzulayim shechachmas yisparach shebatzilus, shebetzeicha eretz baruchu, nasa v'yarda, ad shenislabshu b'dvarim gashmim, she'iminyani olam hazeh. That the wisdom of Hashem, blessed be He, that is located or that originated within Atzilus, and in it is contained the infinite light of Hashem. Nasa, it travels the Yarden, it descends until it reaches physical items in this physical world. In order that the mind, the mortal mind of a person, when he learns the halacha, his mind will be able to grasp and perceive the mehus ve'atzmius hachachma, the essence and the nucleus of that wisdom, Sheba halacha, in that halacha. Mikevan, why? Shemedaberes, beinyanim gashmim, shemehusan musag. Because you're discussing matters of physical items, that being that I'm a physical person, and I know what a cow, and I know what an ox is, and I know what a talus is, and I know what these things are, therefore the mehus, the mahu, mehus comes from the word mahu. The mahu, the isness, the what isness of the item is grasped, is understood.
Rabbi, can we say that the fact that the puzzle says banenu, right? You and your children are going to be able to chop it. That shows that even your children are going to be able to chop it. But like when it comes to Hasidus and all these like deeper Torahs, it's not banenu. It's not necessarily like be able to be perceived like by your kids, just like it's going to be able to be perceived by you.
It's a good word. I hear. I don't know, but I hear. Is it Hanistaris Lashem Elokeinu? Hanistaris Lashem Elokeinu. Hanistaris Lashem Elokeinu. The secrets are to Hashem, our God. I'm going specifically to ulvanenu. Also, our kids. Why is it niglate? Also or even.
That also, since our kids are able to get it, just like we're able to get it on the same level, the same essence. I'm copying the same mutter that he's copying. That's why it's ulvanenu. Nice.
V'lachein, and therefore, nase hiskashrus v'yichud amiti. And therefore, this is qualified. This experience of learning Torah, dafka nigla, dafka the exoteric, dafka shas, is categorized under the category of iskashrus v'yichud amiti, an attachment and a true union. A true union. I'm sorry, seichel adam or shekol adam? Seichel adam b'chachma, the mind of the person b'chachma. Sheba halacha. Shekol ha'adam b'chachma. Shekol or seichel?
I think seichel adam b'chachma.
Seichel adam b'chachma sheba halacha, the mind of the person in the halach in the chachma, which is contained within the halacha. V'keiv and shehi chachma seis barich mamish, and being that this is the wisdom of Hashem, literally hamiyuchedes b'matzila ein so baruch, which is united with her with the emanator, who's the emanator of all of existence, the infinite light of Hashem. It's only what it's only what that it has many clothing, right? Like we give the mashal in the end of chapter 5 of Tanya, end of chapter 5 or 4, yeah? That even though the king is wearing many garments, when you hug the king, you're hugging the king. It doesn't make a difference that your beloved is wearing clothing or not. Sometimes it does. But at the end of the day, you're hugging, right? The hug is, it makes no, so Hashem saying, yes, the way that I'm able to funnel, to dilute, to compact the infinite light of myself and contain it within the wisdom of Torah, I need garments. But at the end of the day, the garments are not concealing, they're revealing. Al kain, therefore, therefore, through this, one creates this bridge, this channel for this supernal union, in which the essence of his soul, the person's soul, is now included, is now absorbed, is now melted away in the essence of the infinite light, which is enclosed in Chachma Ilah, the supreme wisdom, which is Atzilus HaMelubashes beHalacha Hazu, which is enclosed in this halacha. Okay?
By the tangibility of halacha being practical and nila being practical, I can take something that's so lofty and essential and make it more integrated in my life, so that it's connecting to my essence.
Correct. Little bit of what we learned, those of you remember in Pru Ravu, we were discussing in the Tzemach Tzedek the difference between Yichud Abba Ve'ima and Yichud Zun. And we spoke about the idea of Nishikin versus Gufin, right? The difference between a kiss, breath to breath, which we said is more of the meeting of the minds, as opposed to Gufin, that the bodies themselves are creating another body, right? Through intelligence which is likened to a kiss, that the breath, which is the intellect of Hashem, and the breath, which is the breath of the Jew, the intellect of the Jew, there's an attachment there, but the attachment doesn't create, right? It doesn't form something new. Only the body, masculine body, and female body, when they are attached, they can create a new body. So I don't know if it's exactly what he's saying here, but at the end of the day, the tangibility, like he's saying, the tangibility of the idea, that's what creates a yichud amiti. And a yichud amiti usually creates what? A baby. Meaning to say I can see fruits of the interaction between these two things. Okay? As opposed to just the abstract, ethereal, theoretical, it's almost like it's kissing me, but it's not in me. Okay? It's just a breath. And a breath, at the end of the day, there's it hovers over me, but it's not... It's not, the fruits are only is the result or the reaction of true unity. Okay? So therefore, halacha and the tangibility of whatever halacha is that ultimate true unity. Aval, however, bilimud chachmas hakabbalah, the learning of the discipline of the esoteric wisdom of Torah, being that the material, the substance of this dimension of Torah is enclosed in spiritual items. I don't know. Have you ever met Matat? Have you ever met Chesed of Bria? We don't know. No, he's going to give it. Why am I giving example? The Rabbi gives example. Right? For example, like the ornaments of the configurations of Atzilus. Or in the creations of Bria Yitzir Asiyah, for example, the Bria, the creations of various angels. Neshamai, so Malachim, Gan Eden Elyon, Gan Eden Atachtein, right? He's basically giving you examples of things that we've heard, but we never seen. Nigla is tangible, we see, we don't hear. By the way, that's the Vart, the Rebbe's beautiful Vart. No, we're coming to Shavuos. They saw what they heard and they heard what they saw. What's the Vart? So seeing represents the idea of tangibility, right? Seeing is believing because there's a tangibility when I see. And when I see, and whatever I see, in order to articulate what I saw to somebody and they're only listening to it, it takes much longer. So there's a dissonance and a distance in hearing than in seeing. What does that represent? They saw what was usually heard, and they heard what was usually seen. They saw what was usually heard, which means to say, they heard what they usually saw. That's the idea that they were now able to digest the infinite. They were able to digest the ethereal. And that which is usually that which you usually see is now heard, is that the gashmias and the things that so to speak, limit or relegate our vision, takes a backseat. Make sense?
Yeah.
It becomes the background music. What is now tangible to me? The intangible. What is now tangible to me? Kisei HaKavod, right? Rakia, whatever they saw. What the revelation was in a way that it was tangible. So they saw what was usually heard, right? What is usually heard? Ruchnis is usually only heard. Now they saw it. And they heard what they usually see. Gashmius is usually seen. Now they only heard it. It became secondary. All right? Okay.
It was like delegated. It was kind of, I would say, it was like brought down a level, like the Gashmias, or
it wasn't brought down. They were elevated. They were catapulted to a place that Ruchnis became not Ruchnis became Gashmis, but like the tangibility of Gashmis, that's how Ruchnis became. They saw what was usually heard. What was usually only heard? I only heard of Atzilus. I only heard of Bria. I only heard of Surafim v'Chayis HaKodesh. Now I see them.
Right. They were actually experiencing it. So that means the Gashmis was almost like a
and the Gashmis, and the Gashmis, that which was usually seen became heard, became ethereal, it became secondary. Where?
Yeah.
In one of the sichas. Well, you want a source? I'll find a source. Yeah. So now we're saying the same thing about Nister. Melubeshes being on a ruchnik, maybe to compare to Vayatzilus, Oibibia, Bibrias, Serafim Vechais, Nisham is Melach and Ganed Benalin Veganedataktin. So what happens? There's an intangibility, and by definition, and when there is an intangibility, there's a lack of grasp. If there's a lack of grasp, then what is it? It's just a kiss. It's not an actual physical union. Right? By the way, that's exactly what we said in the Maimer Derech Mitzvah. What do we call it? Yichud Neshikin versus Yichud Zivug. Zivug Neshikin versus Zivug Gufni. That's it. Zivug Neshikin, yes, there's a coupling there. Yes, there's a fusion there. But the Neshika, the kiss, is being that it's only a kiss, it's only a breath, it cannot create. Meaning to say there's a lack of tangibility there. I don't have the mehus, as he's going to say soon. There's only the mitzias. I know of its existence, but I don't know of its essence. Okay? When I walk in the street and I see people, I'm aware of their existences. I'm aware of their mitziuses, but I don't know their mehusas. I don't know their personalities. Nigla, you can know the kishkes. Nigla, you can learn the personality. When you say the halakha, the psak halakha, chayav zakai, mutter asar, etc., you're knowing that's the mehus of what Hashem wants. It's the being and the isness of what Hashem wants. When I learn about partzufei ak, so I'm only hearing Partzufei Ak. I don't see Partzufei Ak. And if I'm only hearing Partzufei Ak, the intangibility creates a distance, creates only a kiss and not a deeper zivug. Yeah.
You still have a chitzoni relationship with the pnimi, basically.
Very good, beautiful, very nice. He's going to say clear. The person who's learning, now it's not saying don't learn Kabbalah. Just understand that the relationship that you have with Kabbalah is like the relationship you have with a stranger in the street. You see them, but you don't hear them. Or you hear them, but you don't see them. The learning of the attaining of knowledge of the system of spiritual reality, Shebe'etz Chaim, and he specifies, yeah, Yediyah Seder Ishtal Shebe'etz Chaim. Now, is it Eitz Chaim of Chaim Vital, or Eitz Chaim, the tree of life, the spherotic tree of life that is the organization and structure of the higher worlds? I think that's what he's referring to, not Chaim Vital. Yeah?
This just goes back to if it's the Nigler or the... If it's Eitz Chaim, it's the Nigler. If it's the...
Eitz Hadas Tebera? No, but I think he's saying, Seder Ishtal Shebe Eitz Chaim means the Eitz Chaim is the source of all of existence. He's saying the Eitz Chaim, Pashat, the Eitz Chaim in Gan Eden, right? Yeah, that's Eitz Chaim is Kabbalah because it's correct. But what was the Eitz? Here he's saying it in a way. What is he learning? The knowledge of the system of the chain of realities stemming from the Eitz Chaim, right? Stemming from the Eitz Chaim, which again, the Eitz Chaim is this idea of Keser, Chachma, Bina, Das, that what is it called? That diagram, that's called the Eitz Chaim. Okay? That's the OG structure of Kabbalah. Okay, so when you learn the original structure of Kabbalah, the primordial structure of creation, of how it was in the realm of conception, not in the realm of tangible reality, right? What happens? Ein yad sichloi masig mehus chachmazu. The hand of your mind, beautiful words, yad sichloi. The hand, what is it called? The handle of your mind's ability to grasp it is not in a way that you're masig mehus chachmazu. You're not digesting the essence of this wisdom. Why? Because by definition, mortal man's mind can only grasp in an essential way, in a mahus, in the mahu, the what is this of it, only in asiyah. And being that we're not spiritual beings, we cannot discern, we cannot absorb, we cannot recognize spirituality. What and how it works, only its existence. Yeah? So again, I want to just make a distinction between mehus and mitzias. So he's saying at the end of the day, that which you see, that's called the mehus. That which you hear, that's called the mitzias. I'm aware of its existence, but I don't know its inner workings and personality. Whereas nigle, because I've seen a cow before, and I can open up a cow and I can know that it has a veishet and the other one, and what's it called? No, the two signs. We just learned this. Yeah, kana the veishet. Yeah, that I can see it. There's a mehus. There's not only a mitzias. And therefore, keshachachmas is barach melubashes be'asiyah masig mehus mamish k'may bedalet rishuyas l'shabes masig eit mehus rishus yachid mehus rishus harabim. Yeah, when Hashem's wisdom is compacted and condensed in the world of Asiyah, that's called learning Torah in the realm of Nigle. Nigle is so powerful because you're actually masig the mehus mamish. You're grasping the essence, literally, of what Hashem wants. For example, the 4 domains of Shabbos. That I'm not just speaking ethereally, but I can actually say, outside, if there's 600,000 people going in a thoroughfare of a certain distance from each other, that's called Rishus HaRabim, versus Rishus HaYachid, Carmelis, right? I can show you all these things. Which is not the case when the wisdom of God is speaking about spiritual things. That their essence is not grasped whatsoever. Implying, what the Rebbe says it clearly. I'm speaking about when a person learns Kabbalah, and I'm not saying you shouldn't learn Kabbalah. The Rebbe is saying, I'm not saying you shouldn't learn Kabbalah, but just know that when you do learn Kabbalah, it's not a yichud amiti. It's not a yichud amiti. This is great for the yeshivas, right? It's not a yichud amiti. Your mind is not able to grasp and comprehend. Umiskasher, and have a real union. There's no real attachment. Yeah, not so much. With the essence of the wisdom of Hashem. It's only the existence of these matters, but not the essence of these matters. Ferush says it right there. Therefore you cannot compare one's union and attachment to God when you're learning like in Nigle in Kabbalah. Because when you're learning Nigle, the mind of the person is grasping and understanding and absorbing the essence of the wisdom of Hashem and not only its existence. Yes?
What's when you say Metzias, like what is the Metzias of?
The Metzias is, I'm aware of its existence, but I don't know the inner workings of its personality.
Saying, what does that look like?
A courtyard. Knowing what a courtyard looks like.
No, he's saying
what is the Metzias?
The Metzias means I've heard of Gan Eden.
Saying just that's knowledge.
The awareness of something that exists. There's no, like he said, it's the chitzoiness of the pnimis. I don't have an inner. Right. Have you said? Please show me Gan Eden. Please show me Rishus HaYachid. Oh, here's Rishus HaYachid. Please show me parts of Ak. I could show you in Zoyar. I could show you in Eitz Chaim. I could show you, meaning to say, I could show you in the concept, right? I'm teaching you the concept, right? So therefore, this is a wild statement. The Alter Rebbe is saying, therefore, when you're learning Kabbalah, it's not a yichud amiti. There's a lacking. The hiskashus is loy kol kach, right? It's not as attached.
You said it's not a yichud amiti? You didn't say that.
He says, "V'lachi nase iskashus v'yichud amiti in nigle." He doesn't say yichud amiti by Kabbalah. I'm inferring milah avatashmei.
That's right now during Galus, right?
What?
That's right now during Galus.
Oh, let's see. 1 second. But
ultimately, Pnimis Torah is
let's
more,
go. We're going in order. We're going in order. For right now, we're building up. We're saying what? There's a mile of nigle over. There's a mile of nigle over Pnimius. Yeah. What's the mila? What's the mila of nigla over pnimius? Is that I'm able to understand the grass's essence. Masha'ein kein bilimud. So let's see. Rak mitziusa menuzuza. Lachin, and therefore I'm holding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines from the bottom of the page. Velachin aydizeh dafka nase gamkin hiskalilus atzmius nishmasei be'erin saf hamelubash bechachmasei zbarich shehisig mehusa mamish. Amazing words. And therefore, because you do know the mehus of Nigla, okay? Therefore, because you do know, you have an awareness, a hiskashus, a yichud, with Nigla, with the revealed exoteric dimension of Torah, therefore, this enables you, meaning, okay, so very nice, so I know the mehus, so who cares? No, that's the whole point. It enables you to actually become absorbed with the essence and being of the infinite light. Your neshama is able to be nichlal within the enclosure of Hashem's chachma in what you're learning. Shehisig mehusa mamish. Shebeseicha ein tzav baruchu. In it, in Shar Nagach HaSapara, in Shnayim Ha'echsei Betalis, in all of these things that are tangible. Rishut HaYachid, Rishut HaRabim, Shebeseicha ein tzav baruchu. Excited to learn Shlish Parkim Rambam now, huh? Here, which is not the case when you learn or recognize or become aware of the mitzius of Seidish Talshalus. You only recognize its existence. I know that there's a reality, or I believe that there's a reality called Gan Eden. I believe that there's a reality conceptually called Chochma Vatzilus. Nice. And therefore, again, Miklal, Milav atashmei hein or mihein atashmei lav, right? Yeah. Because he's saying you can infer from this that there's a lacking of connectivity. The Kabbalah hi be'atzilus, the Talmud hi be'bria, o Mishnah be'etzira, o Mikra be'asiyah. The Pri Eitz Chaim says, Rabbi Chaim Vital, quoting the Arizal, that Kabbalah soid is located in Atzilus, and Talmud nigla, right? Meaning actual Shas, not only Mishnah. Talmud is in Bria, meaning to say the logic and the rationale behind the halachas, psukos in Mishnah. Mishnah is in Yetzira, and Mikra and Chumash is in Asiyah. Okay? Now, very interesting. Now, if you learn a little Tanya, you already know the end of this. But let's see. The Likkutei Torah. Okay? Now again, I don't want to confuse everyone. We're quoting a quote from the Arizal, so it's already abstract. What does it mean that Kabbalah is in Atzilus and Talmud is in Bria? What does that even mean? It's in there. That's what he says. It's in there. So now, I'll just give an example that these disciplines, in these 4 ways of interpreting Torah, are representative of the personalities of these worlds. So for example, Mishnah, the Paradis, right? Pshat Remesh Rustoid, or we're saying Mikra, Mishnah, Talmud, Kabbalah, right? So for example, what is Mishnah? No, let's go the opposite way. What is Yetzira? Yetzira, the world of Yetzira, I'm just giving, I can do this with all of them. Let's say, the world of Yetzira, the primary thrust of how Yetzira works, what's Yetzira's personality, is the realm of emotions. Okay? So we'll say the Yud and the Hey and the Vav and the Hey also represents Atzilus, Yud, Hey is Bria, Vav is Yetzira, and the latter Hey is Asiyah. So what is the Vav? Vav, we know Api Kabbalah, is their Anpin, right? Is the connection, actually Vav, it means a hook, right? When we say in Parshah Truma, yeah, Vav, the Vavim of the loops or the hooks of the Mishkan, right? So Vav literally means the hook. That means to say that there's an emotional attachment. Okay. Now, what are the primary emotions of what are the primary emotions in the 10 Sfiros? Chesed and Gvura, right? Even though you'll have Netzach, Chod, Yesod, Malchus, but Netzach, Chod, Yesod, Malchus are all contingent on the energies of Chesed and Gvura. Okay. Now,
the hook is Tiferes? The hook is Tiferes?
No. You were saying
I'm
that
mixing something.
You're missing something?
No, I'm mixing.
Chesed and Gvura are the primary emotions that birth the rest of the emotions. Okay? Now, Chesed and Gvura So now, Olam HaYetzira is the world of emotions. What is Mishnayos? Mishnayos is specifically the halachis psukos. Whether you're chayav or zakai, whether you're hillel or you're shammai. It doesn't really leave room for much, what's the word, logic or rationale or understanding. It's halachis psukos.